Hi there guys, welcome back to the channel. So the video I'm doing today is all about expectations. So the expectations of predominantly new makers to the wax melt and candle industry, and then the expectation of the market, how those differ, and they can differ quite a lot. So it's to help you get a good understanding of meeting your customers or potential customers' expectations to help you to get continuous sales. So this is a follow-on video from my previous video that I did say I was going to make. The previous video, I'll put a link in the bottom, which is a very good video to start, especially if you're starting out. So that one was starting a candle business, what I wish I knew at the start. So it's a really good one to watch. And this is a follow-on video for some of the topics I put in that one. So my last video, the starting your own candle business and what I wish I knew at the start, I had some follow-on questions from that. Some people messaged me directly. It was 24 minutes long, that video. A few of you didn't watch all of it to the end because you asked me the question, where do I get my fragrance oils from? Where do I get the best fragrance oils from as well? A couple of you asked. So I get my oils made from me, which I also sell on in my supplies business, Rustic Barn Candles.co.uk. I'll put a link in the bottom and I'll put the name of it up here at the top of the screen. So yeah, it's for your premium fragrance oils. They are deemed as probably, if not the best oils you can get on the market right now. It's Rustic Barn Candles.co.uk. That's all the oils there is what I have made for me and what I use in all of my own products. Okay, so this is how I'm going to demonstrate the market. I'm going to use a piece of paper and we've got the expectation of makers and the expectation of the market, so customers' expectations, highlighted in these areas here. I'm going to cut the market into two sections because that separates the expectations of the market, so your potential customers, and the expectations of the makers. Okay, so I've broken the market into two sections. The market is broken down into two areas. It's your makers area, so it's makers. All this area here is the makers. All this area here is your customers, the potential customers, okay? Now how this works is, if I was to take one part of the market, first of all, it's the makers, okay? The manufacturers, your candle makers, wax melt makers, any makers. Now this is not just to do with the scented product market, it falls into any market really, any making market where you're making a product. So we're talking about obviously the scented market, candle makers, wax melt makers. The majority of new makers, predominantly, so this is shown by the portion of paper where the majority of people fall. So the majority of the paper is at the bottom here. If I was to draw a line across here, this is where the majority of new makers fall, in this area here. This is where the biggest portion of the paper is, right? At the top part here, this is where the professional makers are. So people who've been doing it longer, got a lot more skills and understand the difference between makers' expectations and customers' expectations. See, there's a much smaller amount of professional candle makers and wax melt makers at the top, demonstrated again by the paper, and then somewhere in the middle, a mixture of the two. You know, not quite professionals, but they've moved out of the amateur area. So the reason being why so many makers stay at this bottom area here is predominantly comes down to how you're perceiving your products. What ingredients are you buying? Are you just buying the cheapest ingredients that you can find? If so, you know, your products are going to be at the bottom of the expectations of the market. So the lowest quality, the lowest price, and there is loads of you. You know, you're competing amongst thousands and thousands and thousands of other people doing the same thing. If you're stuck in new beginner groups, not stuck, if you tend to stay in new beginner groups, you're going to hear the same sort of stuff repeated and over and over and over. People hear one thing and they go to another group and they talk about what they heard from someone else. So the same topics come up and up over and over again. So you sort of never really hear too much apart from new beginner sort of stuff. That's why in the last video I did say don't spend too much time in new beginner groups. They're great at the start, but try and progress on from new beginner groups, okay? Work your way up the quality ladder. Right, I don't want to lose your concentration, so I know I'm talking a lot. With the customer, so this portion of paper now is showing the customer expectations. what they perceive and what they want, okay? The majority of the customers is at the top here, right? This is where the majority of customers fall. This is their expectations and desires, what they want from a scented candle or scented wax melt. Is higher quality. They don't mind paying higher price, guys, okay? You don't have to keep your price down at the bottom here, whereas makers, low quality, low price. Look, if I was to overlap that, you see how low quality, low price, you're falling under a small catchment area of the market. So if I put the customers over the makers market, look how much of a small area your customers, your potential customers, really want low quality, low price. Such a small area, see? Such a small area, narrow area, but being catered for by such a wide area of makers. You're all fighting for a small portion of the market. So if you could increase your quality, start making your way up. Don't, obviously do your research, try and find better quality fragrance oils especially, okay? Scented product markets, you set your products, the quality of your products, based on the fragrance oils that you use, okay? Not really the wax. Wax is just an ingredient that holds the oil. It's the oil that gives off the smell, okay? It's what sets the quality of the product. So, someone's going to ask me eventually, so I'll say it again. Premium fragrance oils from rusticbarncandles.co.uk. I'll put a link in the bottom of this video, so click on the link, but I'll put the name of it up on the screen now. Rustic Barn Candles for your premium quality fragrance oils that will help you produce higher quality products, especially candles. My God, your candles need to be produced, or made rather, with premium fragrance oils that don't burn off under the heat of the flame. Right, but anyway, this is the gist of this video, guys, here, to show how the expectations of customers sit over the expectations of new makers. New makers, there's thousands of you, hundreds of thousands, all producing the same type of products, lower quality, lower price. You're catering to a much smaller area of the market. Once you push up to this higher area, start breaking away from the beginner level, and that comes with time, that comes with knowledge, okay? You have to stick in this industry long enough to gain that knowledge and gain that experience. So there's nothing wrong with being a new maker, nothing wrong with it at all. We all start there, that's where you have to start. But what I'm saying is you need to progress, you need to improve your skills and improve your products, obviously. So how that affects with sales. Now, new makers can get sales from people up here, customers wanting the higher quality products, but this is where it all goes wrong. The scented product market, so your business, your growth of your business is sustained, so continued, through repeated sales from customers. So if you get a customer up here, try one of the maker's products down here, and they are not satisfied, so I'm putting a cross through because they're not satisfied with that maker's products, they'll move on to someone else. Try this person's here, not satisfied again, then move on. Right, then they maybe find someone in a slightly better quality product, which they're happy with or they're not. So it's until you find one of the maker's products up here that I'm trying to do a tick, that's meant to be a tick, but that they are happy with the quality product and they keep buying from that maker. Getting the odd sales is not a business. It needs to be repeated sales, okay guys? The odd sale now and then is not a business, it's just an odd sale, right? It's great that you get the sales, but it needs to be repeated. So you need to improve your quality to keep your customers, customer retention, customer repeated orders. I hope this is coming across as a good understanding of the area that this shows here. There is very few customers, like the market as a whole gets less and less and less customers wanting low quality products. The majority of your customers in the market want high quality premium products, and they will keep repeating buying from you. This is how the better companies are being sustained. You know, the bigger companies are growing and continuing growing. They're employing like 10 people. They've got to cover all those wages, guys. And they do that from repeat orders from their customers. But they only keep their customers from producing high quality products. You know, you're falling up here now in the top end, not down here. There's no real easy way to explain this in this video, so I hope it comes across as a good understanding that customers want premium quality products. Customers are prepared to pay higher prices for those products and keep buying from you once they've found a company that they're happy with, candles or wax melts, okay? Makers tend to search the suppliers market for the cheapest products. So the majority of new makers we're talking here, you know, you're in the groups. I own one of the biggest groups. I get the same questions. I approve all the same questions all the time about where's the cheapest this, where's the cheapest that. All you're doing is you're putting yourself down here. There's nothing wrong with that to start with, but you might get demotivated because you don't get sustained growth, repeat orders. Yeah, so try and find better quality products from suppliers, rusticbarncandles.co.uk. There is a couple others. If I was to say, this is not meant to be negative, if I was to say, if the majority of people are talking about certain companies where they're buying their product from, if you do your research into those companies, are those prices of oils at the lower end? So now don't get confused here that I'm saying that's bad. That's good to find cheap products. But remember, you want high quality products, not cheap products. Quality is what's going to see you through to a successful business, not, yes, I found a fragrance oil that's really, really cheap price, you know, a cheap price, but what benefit is that for your business, you know? You've saved money on buying a oil that is low. So I'm going to talk about lemon lavender, a very common oil. I think near enough every supplier does it. I do it, everyone does it. Now, lemon lavender from all the different suppliers is not the same oil. There is different quality oils out there. So it's your job as makers to find the better quality oils, okay? And as a head start to push you forward, it's not going to be the cheapest ones, right? The cheapest ones are not the best ones. You guys should know that already. So, yeah, so hopefully this comes across beneficial to you guys. I know it's not the best video to watch. It's not really entertaining in terms of video footage, but it's not really what my channel is about. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. I'm trying to be an educator, to inform you, to give you good information in the videos. They might not look the best, but in terms of quality of information, I hope you find them very beneficial. So again, this is pretty much the end of this video now, but you can see how the two overlap. Majority of makers, new makers fall at the bottom here. There's a very limited market for you to cater for in terms of customers. The majority of customers are at the top here, and there's very few premium makers at the top. This is one reason. So a lot of people would say to me, why am I helping out new makers? Because, like, you know, they'll be taking customers away from me. Well, you won't be. You won't be taking new customers away from the professionals. People who've been in it longer and know a lot more about it, because the majority of makers, new makers, are at the bottom end of the market. The people who've been in it a lot longer are not concentrating on those type of customers. Our prices probably won't attract those customers, you know. I sell my wax melts for £4.50 because of getting them back on the market. I was meant to be moving house, so I've taken off, just basically sold all my candles and not put them back on the website. So that's why if you look at my website, there's hardly any candles left there now. It's only my tins because I'm meant to be moving house. Massive problem with that. I don't think that's going to happen now. Plus, I need to be getting ready for Christmas orders, which is, I start around now, around June is when I start getting candles made and stuff like that. So my anyway, if you look on my website, there's not many candles right now. Towards the end of June, there's going to be tons of candles prepping up for Christmas. But yeah, so Hope this video has been informative. Again, if anyone does ask me where do I get my oils from, I have my oils made for me, for my specifications. They're deemed as probably, like I say, I always find it a bit funny talking about my own products. It feels like a bit pushy, but a bit pushy in terms of marketing, pushing it towards you guys. But rusticbarncandles.co.uk, I only stock premium fragrance oils. I've had quite a few messages of how I've got people into stores already just from switching oils to my oils. It's all about the oils, guys, okay? It's a scented market. The scent comes from the oil. Your main ingredient you should be thinking about is the oil, fragrance oil, okay? Right, I'm going to leave this one there. Hopefully it's been beneficial. Please subscribe to the channel. I've got quite a few candles to make in the next couple of days. I think I'll do just a making video next and showing how I go about making some candles. Alright, bye for now.